last night on the BTVR. I pointed out something that is so, I think, obvious to our generation and our parents, but I wonder if youngers, as Danny G calls them, the younglings, feel the same way. We live in a social media world. We live in a streaming world. We talked about it yesterday. Monday Night Raw was just further proof that everything is just headed to Netflix and Hulu and Peacock and Paramount. Like, it's clear as day where things are headed. Raw. But when there is some type of disaster or, Mother Nature kicks someone on their ass, hurricane, earthquake, fires, isn't there like a weird comfort sense of turning on the local news?
You want
it's
that.
The only time. I was telling Sarah, it's the one time where it feels still so relevant and needed. Again, every other day, I'm not watching fucking KTLA or Fox 11 here in LA, but when there's a fire or when there's an earthquake or when there's a flood on the East Coast.
There's a police chase out here in LA.
But when you're on the East Coast and there's a hurricane, you're fucking watching Rosanna Scotto. There's something about the local news.
That's my homie, Rosanna Scotto.
Shit's going on. And
by the way, we never acknowledged Chuck Scarborough retired.
I saw that.
Legend. Not one of my favorites, but a name we all grew up knowing.
It's a very obvious observation.
Did you see his goodbye?
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
It was great. Goodbyes in front of the camera and on the mic are so sad to me. Not because we do this. It's just, there he is.
This is my final broadcast as anchor of the evening news on NBC4 New York. First and foremost, I am profoundly grateful for your trust. Without that, I would not have survived for more than half a century in this job and been allowed to occupy this front row seat to history of our fascinating metropolis and the world beyond for so long. 4 months after I arrived in 1974, President Nixon, who won a landslide election just 2 years earlier, resigned, the first presidential resignation in the nation's history. In 1975, New York City plunged into effective bankruptcy, and the Vietnam War came to a chaotic end. The pace of breaking news has been relentless ever since. We've been through blackouts together, riots, crime waves, hurricanes, blizzards, economic crises, corruption, public and private, 9/11, wars, and a pandemic. But just as important were the stories of human achievement in the arts and sciences, of forgiveness, kindness, recovery, and resilience.
Cheers to Chuck.
Actually, the one I like is when he announced that it's his last week or something like that. Before he said goodbye, and everyone's yes. Oh, you got that? Well, you don't have to play it.
Scarborough.
But you're right. There's a sense of comfort.
Guys, tonight, finally, I'd like to break some personal news. The time has come to pass the torch. 50 years, 8 months, and 17 days after I walked into the door here at the headquarters of the National Broadcasting Company.
This is cool because you see everyone congratulating him at the end.
Desk. My last newscast is going to be on December 12th, 3 weeks from tonight. And I'll have more to say to you and to my extraordinary colleagues at NBC4 then. But for now, I'll offer a simple, heartfelt thank you for allowing me into your living rooms and trusting us to bring you the news. NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, straight ahead.
I like it. They zoom out. You can see,
Good night.
Chuck! Oh, there you go, man. Oh, Chuck.
Can I tell you?
Guy.
Can I tell you?
It's so sad, dude. Right? It's so emotional to me.
When we did our last show on Sirius XM, and the mics went off, but they'll be 78.
I hope you're not
God willing,
at that time.
God willing,